Hi everyone, what if I told you that the war for your future is being fought in your mind, every single day, that the voice telling you you're not enough, not ready, not capable, is lying, and the only thing standing between you and the life you were born to build is your mental fortitude. This isn't about being fearless, it's about becoming relentless. It's about silencing the noise, shutting down the doubt, and standing tall when everything around you says, sit down. Too many people wait for motivation, but motivation fades. What you need is fire, discipline, grit. What you need is the strength to keep showing up when nobody's clapping, when the results aren't instant, and when the world tells you to quit. Because if you don't train your mind will train you, to be average, to stay small, to settle for less. This video is not for the faint of heart. It's for the ones who are tired of waiting, tired of doubting, tired of letting fear win. So stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you're going to discover how to unlock the kind of mental power that turns storms into fuel, pressure into purpose, and failure into fire. This is how you take control. This is how you rise. Let's begin. Most people think winning the day begins when the alarm goes off. They think it's in the to-do lists, the hustle, the grind. But the truth is, victory starts long before the sun rises. It starts with how you prepare the night before. Your night determines your next morning. What you feed your mind, how you calm your nervous system, what you allow into your space before sleep. These are the hidden rituals of the people who win consistently. They don't leave it to chance. They don't carry unresolved chaos from the day into the next. They close loops. They journal. They reflect. They prepare. You cannot expect a powerful morning if you end your night scrolling endlessly through distractions, soaking in noise, and ignoring your mental clutter. The most successful people understand that preparation is not a one-time event. It's a daily rhythm, and the night before is your rehearsal for the performance that is your next day. This is where intention is set. This is where you reconnect with your values, your purpose, your mission. This is where you tell your mind what matters so it doesn't get hijacked by the noise of the world. The battlefield of tomorrow is won by the clarity you create tonight, and the best part, it doesn't require hours. It requires commitment, 5 to 10 minutes of deep breathing, writing out tomorrow's top priorities, expressing gratitude, and deciding when you will wake up. Not if, but when. That alone shifts your identity from a passive drifter to a deliberate creator. When you begin your morning with the certainty of what must be done, because it was already decided the night before, you become unstoppable. You move through the day with less anxiety, less confusion, and more confidence. You stop reacting and start executing. You stop asking, what do I feel like doing today? And you start commanding the day with clarity. People who win every day don't always have better resources, better tools, or better luck. They simply understand that control is built in the small decisions made consistently. And the decision to prepare the night before is one of the most powerful of them all. It says, I am not leaving my life to chance. I'm showing up with purpose. That mindset alone puts you in the top 5%. Because while others are waking up rushed, distracted, and behind, you're already ahead. You've already won the morning. You've already claimed your intention. And the rest of the day becomes a reflection of that early victory. Waking up early is not just about time. It's about ownership. It's the act of reclaiming control before the world starts making demands on you. While most people are still asleep, those who win every day are already in motion. They've already made a choice to lead, not follow, to act, not react. Early mornings are sacred ground. They belong to the committed. They belong to the people who have made a decision that their goals, their peace, and their personal growth matter more than a few extra moments of sleep. This is not about sleep deprivation. It's about discipline. It's about choosing discomfort in the short term for power in the long term. Because in those early hours when the world is still quiet, something remarkable happens. You hear yourself think. You reconnect with your why. You read, reflect, pray, move, journal uninterrupted, unbothered, undistracted. And that time, even if it's just 30 minutes, becomes a weapon. It sharpens your mind, anchors your emotions, and sets the tone for the entire day. When you rise early, you step into your day with confidence because you're not rushed. You're not playing catch up. You're not negotiating with excuses. You're in control. You're grounded. Your body has already moved. Your mind has already been nourished. And your spirit has already been centered. That internal alignment radiates into everything else you do. Meetings become more focused. Conversations become more intentional. Decisions become more clear because the foundation was already laid before the sun came up. Most people don't struggle with motivation. They struggle with momentum. And there is no better way to build momentum than starting the day on your terms. Every morning is an opportunity to prove to yourself who you are becoming. Are you someone who drifts, or are you someone who drives? Are you waiting on life, or are you creating it? The world doesn't give respect to those who hit snooze on their goals, but it does respect those who are up, present, and preparing while others are still debating whether or not to start. That edge matters. That 1 hour of deliberate intention can change your results, your mindset, your income, and your legacy. Because when you master your mornings, you start to believe in your own power. And once you believe that everything changes, you stop asking for permission. You stop relying on motivation. You start executing, leading, living, and the best part, it's not about talent. It's not about resources. It's not about luck. It's a choice you make each morning when the alarm goes off to rise, not just from bed, but into the person you were designed to be. Win the morning, win the day, but how do you truly win the morning? It's not just about waking up early. It's about what you do with that time that separates you from the rest. Creating a morning routine isn't a trend or a productivity hack. It's a foundational pillar of personal transformation. The way you start your morning sets the psychological tone for everything that follows. It's the first promise you keep to yourself, and it defines whether you begin the day reacting or leading. If the first thing you do is check your phone, you're letting the world dictate your mindset. But if the first thing you do is invest in your mind, body, and soul, you're declaring to the world that you are in control. This routine becomes your anchor. It doesn't have to be complex, but it has to be consistent. And it has to mean something to you. Whether it's 10 minutes of prayer, 15 minutes of journaling, or 30 minutes of movement, the power lies in intentionality. You're telling your mind, I matter, my peace matters, my growth matters. That self-respect repeated daily builds inner strength. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. Show up for yourself before anyone else asks you to show up for them. You can't lead a team, a business, or a family from a place of emotional chaos and physical exhaustion. You need to fill your cup before you pour it into others. The world rewards clarity, strength, and consistency, and all of that can be built in your morning routine. That's where you practice self-discipline. That's where you rehearse gratitude. That's where you lock into your mission before distractions come knocking. Success isn't built on a single breakthrough moment. It's built on hundreds of unseen repetitions. Your morning routine is your training ground. It's where you get mentally tougher, emotionally clearer, spiritually deeper. It's the quiet work that makes the loud victories possible, and if you skip it, you might survive the day, but you won't own it. Because every day you delay your power habits, you delay your potential. Every day you start in chaos, you reinforce confusion. But every day you begin with clarity, you set a standard for excellence. Winners don't rely on motivation to guide them. They rely on systems, and your morning routine is the most powerful system you can build. It becomes your sanctuary before the battle. It becomes your launch pad for greatness. And most importantly, it becomes a mirror. It shows you day after day exactly who you are becoming. And if you don't like who that is, you don't need to wait. You can change it tomorrow morning, because greatness doesn't start on a stage. It starts before the sun rises. It starts with a decision, and that decision is yours. Stop negotiating with your excuses. Every time you justify an action, every time you make peace with delay, every time you tell yourself, just this once, you're training your mind to accept mediocrity. And the truth is, you can't build a winning life on a foundation of weak agreements. Mental fortitude begins where compromise ends. The people who win daily aren't superhuman. They've just made a non-negotiable decision to stop allowing their feelings to run the show. Because your feelings will lie to you. They'll tell you you're too tired, too busy, too overwhelmed. They'll whisper, you deserve a break, not because you earned one, but because your comfort zone is trying to survive. But growth doesn't care about your feelings. Results don't respond to how you feel. Discipline doesn't negotiate. When you negotiate with yourself, you lose momentum. You give your lower self a seat at the table. That part of you that craves ease, silence, and approval is not the part that will build a legacy. Winners learn how to silence that voice, not by being emotionless, but by being mission-focused. There is a war inside every person, the war between the future you desire and the comfort you currently live in. And every excuse is a vote for staying the same. The key to mental toughness is recognizing that the moment you start talking yourself out of what you said you'd do, you must act immediately. Action silences excuses. Movement breaks mental friction. The longer you wait, the louder the lies become. But if you just take that one step, whether it's the gym, the call, the meeting, the habit, you take back control of the narrative. Discipline is built through repetition, but strength is forged in refusal. The refusal to give up, the refusal to talk yourself down, the refusal to accept anything less than what your purpose demands. You don't need more time, you don't need more inspiration, and you definitely don't need more motivation. You need one bold moment of clarity, one moment where you decide, I will no longer betray my own future for the sake of comfort. That's what separates those who win from those who wonder. Excuses are easy to create, but impossible to scale. Nobody climbs mountains with reasons. They do it with resolve. Stop giving energy to your limitations. Stop giving airtime to the story of why it won't work. Replace the question, can I do this, with how will I crush this, and then move. Because once you stop negotiating with excuses, life starts negotiating with your courage, and that's when everything begins to change. True mental fortitude is not built in the spotlight. It is forged in silence, in the unnoticed moments when no one is watching, clapping, or validating you. In a world obsessed with visibility, applause, and instant recognition, the greatest power you can develop is the ability to keep showing up when there is no reward in sight. Why? Because those silent moments are where the strongest identities are formed. When you do the right thing without the audience, without the likes, without the praise, you tell your mind and your character that you're not working for attention. You're working for alignment. The people who win consistently in life are not addicted to recognition. They are committed to growth. They've trained their minds to love the process more than the outcome, and that discipline, that emotional detachment from approval, becomes their secret weapon. The greatest transformations happen not when someone is watching, but when no one is. You wake up early, not because someone is holding you accountable, but because you refuse to sleep on your potential. You say no to distractions, not because you fear judgment, but because you respect your own goals. You keep pushing, even on the days it feels pointless, because you understand that the price of greatness is often silence. You're not entitled to results just because you're working hard. You're entitled to results when you've stayed consistent, focused, and unshaken long enough in the dark that the light finally finds you. Success isn't about going viral. It's about going invisible for a while to build something so powerful, so unshakable, that when it's revealed, the world has no choice but to pay attention. Stop waiting for someone to notice your efforts. Stop posting your grind hoping someone validates it. Start respecting the hidden hours. Start honoring the inner scorecard. Mental toughness is the willingness to be irrelevant today so you can be undeniable tomorrow. If you can learn to be loyal to your mission without applause, without confirmation, and without recognition, you become the kind of person who is too focused to be distracted and too disciplined to be stopped. The true warriors of life are not always loud. They are consistent. They don't need the world to see every move. They just need to keep moving. So when you feel unseen, remember, silence is where your strength is sharpening. You are not lost, you are in training. This season is not about applause, it's about alignment. Keep going, because the most powerful version of you is being built in the silence. And when it's time, the world will see what silence created. Developing mental fortitude requires a shift from reactive thinking to proactive mindset mastery. Most people allow their environment to dictate their emotions, their thoughts, and ultimately, their actions. They wake up and react to their phone notifications, react to other people's opinions, react to setbacks, react to fear. But mental fortitude demands that you rise each day with intentionality, with a clear decision that *U* will govern your emotions, not the world around you. This is the difference between a life of chaos and a life of clarity. The moment you train your mind to respond instead of react you take back control. You stop being a victim of your circumstances and start becoming the architect of your responses. And in that discipline lies power, because most people will never do it. They'll be emotional slaves to distraction, criticism, disappointment, and pressure, while you rise above by mastering your mindset. Winning every day begins with the decision that nothing outside of you deserves more control over your internal state than you do. This means understanding that you don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't have to accept every limiting belief thrown at you. You don't have to absorb every negative vibe from your environment. You can choose what gets your attention, what deserves your energy, and what earns your reaction. This isn't about becoming cold or distant. It's about becoming focused. When you learn to pause, to breathe, to ground yourself in truth rather than reacting to noise, you make better decisions, protect your peace, and conserve the energy needed to pursue greatness. People who build mental fortitude operate from purpose, not pressure. They don't just try to stay positive. They train themselves to process pressure differently. They turn pain into perspective, fear into fuel, and rejection into redirection. This isn't just motivational fluff, it's a real neurological rewiring that happens when you train your thoughts daily. You begin to ask better questions. What is this teaching me? How can I grow from this? What would the strongest version of me do right now? These aren't just affirmations, they're weapons. Because when your mind is equipped to interpret setbacks as setups and challenges as chapters, you become unstoppable. You stop folding under pressure and start forging strength through it. It's not about being emotionless, it's about being emotionally intelligent, about being mentally conditioned, about realizing that mental fortitude is built the same way muscles are, in resistance, so don't avoid the pressure. Don't run from discomfort, embrace the pain of discipline over the pain of regret. And most importantly, take back your mind from the chaos of this world. The most dangerous person isn't the loudest in the room. It's the one who can stay calm in chaos, clear in confusion, and confident under pressure. That person wins not by chance, but by choice. That person wins because they trained for the moment before it arrived. Be that person. Train your mind like your future depends on it, because it does. If you've made it this far, then something inside you knows the truth. Mental fortitude is not a gift, it's a decision, a daily choice. It's not built in the moments of comfort, but in the moments you feel like breaking and still choose to push forward. Every challenge you face is not meant to destroy you. It's a test, a mirror, a furnace. And the version of you that comes out on the other side, that version is unstoppable. Because mental strength isn't just about winning battles. It's about becoming the kind of person who no longer runs from them. It's about replacing excuses with action, fear with focus, hesitation with hunger. Now you know the tools, you know what it takes, and the real question is, what will you do with it? Don't wait until the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment, there's only now. Choose discipline over doubt, choose purpose over pain, choose to become the kind of person your future self will thank you for. Thank you for being here. Thank you for investing your time into growth. If this message hit something deep inside you, share it, live it, speak it, and most importantly, be it. You were built for more, now go prove it.